Absolutely. How y'all doing? Turn this up a little bit. How y'all doing this evening? A little more calm now. This morning, after I had a conversation with someone, I was triggered and I just said, screw the boxing, didn't I? Just get this mic together. Drew Dighton, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This is Painful Excellence Podcast. See, we got in the building. The beautiful love is the word. Salute, sis. LDBC or nothing. Daniel Mitchell, Rod Neal, my brother. Josh, salute, bro, from Chi-Town. That's what's up. The Village brother. Detroit, BC, Jeff Spark, always supporting. Salute. John Pounds, Frank from the land. Salute. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. What year y'all think this picture is? You know it's in the 60s. Now, if you watch me this morning, one thing that I stick to is I always know when I'm on the right path when I speak on something, when I put up the advertisement for my new live, and then all of these things on my algorithm start to pop up. And what I noticed was I wasn't the only person on here that knew about or decided to speak on the Moynihan report. Some of you haven't, some of you don't know about it, and it's okay. It's okay. I don't know if I'm going to cover the whole thing in this show, but all these things on the algorithm start to pop up. And, sometimes, the Lord works in mysterious ways, man. I was listening to an old Kevin Samuels podcast, like, I think last night, and he mentioned it very brief. And I said, could it be? And then all these things on my algorithm. Then about a week ago, Crimson Cure, that sister, she was talking about it. She did like a 5-part series on it. I said, I ain't listened to it yet, but I'm going to listen to it. Because I like listening, when it's the same topic, I like listening to other people's work, because I always want to see if there's something that I missed. You understand? That's how I get down. His YouTube channel is on live. How is his YouTube channel on live right now? It's live right now? Wait a minute. Time out. Let me see something. It's live right now? Hold on. Time out. He's not live. I'm on his channel right now. It's not live. You gotta be careful, because sometimes these people put his name in their channels, and people that are just trying to find him, they don't know any better, and they start subscribing to these crazy channels. You know what I mean? I know Uncle D is live right now, but it's all good. Anyway. Oh, there's a trailer coming soon. The trailer. So there's content coming soon? I wonder what that's about. Let me see something. I'll just put that there. Yeah, it was just posted. Okay, well, salute to him. I wonder what it's going to be. Hopefully, that's someone, because I believe his daughter owns the estate now. And, it's a premiere? Okay. And, that brother will be missed, man. He was a gem. But anyway, yeah, Rod Neal, it just popped up on my phone, and I said, yo, she did 5 parts on this. But no hate, because I'm like, I know I'm going in the right direction. And let me tell you something. I knew about the Moynihan report for decades. But once I learned what it was, Jay, what up? LeVar Cooper, salute. Once I learned what it was, what I didn't do, I didn't speak about it. You know why? I'm on code. And I didn't want to completely throw everybody under the bus. But you know something? Mike the Reaper, salute. I feel a bit attacked. I really do. And when I gracefully got on here, if you want to call it graceful, and I said, look, this is lopsided. I know how we got here. Why do you think I always mention 1965? I do it every show, damn near. And I said, look, man, please, what I don't like is when people try and say, okay, look, it's both our fault. It's not, man. It's not. All right. The ladies made a decision. The ladies made a decision. How many times I got on here and said that the ladies chose government assistance? JC, what up? They chose government assistance over having their man in the house. What am I met with? All this resistance. Akondo, what up, brother? And I'm like, no. I'm not saying it just to point blame. I'm saying it because it's true. Then all of a sudden, facts, data, and statistics don't matter. And it's not accurate. Mac of the South, my brother. I'll give you a quick example of that. I told one of the sisters in the chat last week, I said, look, man, black people only make 13% of the population in the United States. The sister said this wasn't true. Between 1975 up until Roe versus Wade a few months ago, there's a number attached to black women who had abortions. First of all, they had the most abortions, number one. Number two, it was 20 million. So maybe if we didn't have 20 million abortions, we'd make up for more than 13% of the population. Make sense? All right, Daniel Mitchell. Well, yeah, brother. Let's do it, because a lot of brothers and sisters don't know. Go to all these Instagram chicks and ask them, do they know about the Moynihan report? This is not new information. And this picture is so powerful because, Dr. King was a man of God and he was for his people. But one thing that he did say is he regrets trying to get us a seat at the table with Massa, because that was a disaster. He regrets that. So I'm going to try and get through this as much as I can, because this is not, I might have to break this up in 2 or 3 parts, because I saw that Crimson Cure. She had like 5 parts. I ain't watching any of it yet. I'm a binge watch. I'm a binge listen to it when I go to the gym on Sunday. I'm going to listen to all of it. That sister is fire. But I was, I give myself a stroke because I'm like, wow, I'm going in the right direction, because I just put this up the other day and then all of this stuff started popping up. And I said, oh, crap. Okay. So I'm heading in the right direction. So let us begin. What is the Moynihan report? The Negro family, the case for national action, commonly known as the Moynihan report, was a 1965 report on black poverty in the United States, written by Daniel Patrick Moynihan, an American scholar serving as Assistant Secretary of Labor under President Lyndon B. Johnson, and later to become a U.S. Senator. So that's what it is. Y'all notice I always kept talking about 1965. So maybe we can get some clarity about, Drew, why are you always bringing up that damn... Okay, well, let's get to it. And I'm going to try and cover as much as I can. Okay, this is the Moynihan report, ladies and gentlemen. The Negro family, the case of national action. So what this is, non-marital birth rates in the United States from 1940 to 2014. Okay? The purple right here at the top is us. All right, non-whites from 1940s. Right here, 1970. That's when things get interesting. Now, I want you to just take a look at that. What's the first thing Jay Gibson, salute. What's the first thing you notice about us? What do you notice? 1960, right? That's 1970 where things start getting a little funky. So 65, what happened? Welfare system. Non-marital birth rates in the United States from 1940 to 2014. Look at this. Do y'all see this? Now look at the escalation between 70 and 80. Right in between is 1975. And I just told you from 1975 to 2022, 2023, 20 million abortions. Just let it sink in. Look at the chart. Look at it. %20 to goddamn 75%. This is a disgusting and embarrassing statistic. 200 years ago in 1765, 9 assembled colonies first joined together to demand freedom of arbitrary power. For the first century, we struggled to hold together the first continental union of democracy in the history of man. 100 years ago, in 1865, following a terrible test of blood and fire, the impact of the union was finally sealed. For a second century, we labored to establish a unity of purpose and interest among the many groups which make up the American community. That struggle has often brought pain and violence. It is not over. State of the Union message, President Lyndon B. Johnson, January 4th, 1965. Now, they talked about the United States approaching a new crisis in race relations. We're Negroes. We know what the race relations were. We know that shit wasn't good. Okay. There's something here I want to read with y'all. In this new period of expectations, the Negro Americans will go beyond civil rights. Please pay attention, family. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. This is not going to happen. What did I just say? Do you understand what I just said, by the way? Do y'all understand what I just said? Let me read it again. Negro Americans will go beyond civil rights. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. This is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come unless a new special effort is made. What does that mean, what I just read? What does that mean? What they're saying, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to say dumb it down. I'm just going to say I'm going to keep it simple. Let me keep it very simple. Back then, slavery gets abolished, and we're thinking, okay, we're Americans now. We're not considered what? What would we considered? 1/4 of a man, 3/4 of a man? I forget. We weren't considered human beings, but now that that shit is over, segregation done, we've gotten away from Jim Crow. Well, some of us have fled the South to get away from Jim Crow. So everything should be okay now, right? We're equal men. Everything should be okay now, right? We know that's bullshit. I was just talking about that this morning. Black people, we lived here all our lives. Some of us have good credit, great credit, no criminal record. We've been trying to get that empty space to get a store up and running in the neighborhood, and we've gotten the runaround from every bank in a 20-mile radius. Nobody wants to give us a loan. The Chinaman comes in, takes advantage of a program, and he moves in, he's selling us Chinese food. And we're like, yo, what the F, man? So they're telling you it's supposed to be fair, but it's not going to be fair. At least not for a few generations. It's not going to be fair. That's all they're saying right here. There are two reasons. First, the racist virus in the American bloodstream still afflicts us. Negroes will encounter serious personal prejudice for at least another generation. Let's highlight that. So racism is not going to go away for at least another generation. We're talking 20, 30 years. See what I'm saying? Second, 3 centuries of sometimes unimaginable mistreatment have taken their toll on Negro people. We talk about therapy. We're talking about things being passed down from grandma to the mother, to the daughter or son. We still suffer from PTSD passed down from our ancestors. There's black people right now that you would think they're normal, but they get around white people and say, I just don't trust white people. Why not? I don't. Why not? That's how I was raised. Then you talk to their father. That's how I was raised. You talk to the grandparents if they're still alive. Well, my brother got his head blown off by a white boy right up the street in that house right there. The cops did nothing. We couldn't even bury him. But what happened? Nothing. He eventually grew old and had kids and moved away. And I heard he died. And the family lineage still lives up the street from them. We're here, they're there. So what do you think he taught his son? What do you think his son taught his son? And so on and so forth. Get over it indeed. Right? The harsh fact is that as a group at the present time, in terms of ability to win out in the competitions of American life, they are not equal to most of those groups with which they will be competing. Individually, Negro Americans reach the highest peaks of achievement, but collectively, in the spectrum of American ethnic and religious and regional groups, where some get plenty and some get none, where some send 80% of their children to college and others pull them out of the school at 8th grade, Negroes are among the weakest. The most difficult fact for white Americans to understand is that in these terms of the circumstances of the Negro American community in recent years has probably been getting worse, not better. It's getting worse, not better. It's getting worse. This is 1965, y'all. He just said it's getting worse, not better. What do you mean? There's no slavery. What are you talking about? You can't legally lynch anybody anymore. The song is, I wish I wasn't Dixie, but you're not. So what could possibly be the problem? Y'all niggas are just making excuses. He just said it's getting worse, not better. What could it be? How could it get worse? Indices of dollars, of income, standards of living, and years of education deceive. You hear that? The gap between the Negro and most other groups in American society is widening. How could that be when slavery is abolished? All men are created equal. How could this be? What's happening? The fundamental problem in which this is most clearly the case is that of the family structure. Uh-oh.
What?
Here we go. Y'all listening to this? Now, I already knew this. Y'all. Look. Read it again. The fundamental problem in which this is most clearly the case is that of the family structure. The evidence, not final but powerfully persuasive, is that the Negro family in the urban ghettos is crumbling. A middle-class group has managed to save itself, but for vast numbers of the unskilled, poorly educated city working class of the fabric and conventional social relationships has all but disintegrated. There are indications that the situation may have been arrested in the past few years, but the general post-war trend is unmistakable. So long as this situation persists, the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself. Oh, shit. Didn't I just say in order to understand how we got here in 2023, we have to understand where it happened, why it happened, how it happened, so we're not doomed to commit the same sins that fucked us up in the first place? Didn't I say that? Again, I knew about this, which is why I always said that. But everybody that wants to come in here and pop shots and talk about stats, they're not 100% and I'm wrong. Do you know about the Moynihan report? You know what? You don't even have to listen to my show. Crimson Cure got five parts to it. But you know what? I'm taking it easy on it because you know what? Have y'all read the comments on her? Stormy, what up? Did y'all read what hers are called? Because it just popped up on my algorithm. I just saw this shit today. Rod Neal, did you see what she said? I just said the Moynihan report, 1965. That's all I said. TJ Boxing, salute. Do you know what hers said? Let me just read it for you. Let me just go get it for you. I'm going to read one title for you. Let me just get it for you. I'm going to tell you what it says, and don't get mad at me. Do not get mad at me. There's 5 parts, y'all. It says, Black women broke the Black family. Moynihan report. There's 5 parts to it. Hold on. Don't argue with me. I dare you. Go challenge her. I've been knew about this. My family's been speaking about this before I was born. They lived through this shit. And when they saw the Black household crumbling, they traced it back to that shit. Reset Common Sense, salute. I just read you her titles. I left Black women out of this. But you see, they're talking about family structure now, right? I dare you to go to her and talk that bullshit. Go. I dare you. And I'm talking to the ladies. I know they're watching. They might not be speaking. You be mad at me all you want. I'm fine. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to point the finger without it being justified. I was peaceful with it at first. Said, look, this is not a shit. Don't say, oh, men need. No. It's not a shared responsibility. It's more like 70-30. Goddamn 80-20. I just read you what her titles are called. She totally blames y'all for this shit. I ain't even get there yet. So let's go. The evidence, not final but powerfully persuasive, is that the Negro family in the urban ghettos is crumbling. The middle class group has managed to save itself of a vast number of unskilled, poorly educated city workers. The fabric of conventional social relationship has all but disintegrated. The indications is that the situation may be arrested in the past few years, but the general post-war trend is unmistakable. So as long as the situation persists, the cycle of poverty and disadvantage will continue to repeat itself. The thesis of this paper is that these events in combination confront the nation with a new kind of problem. It's a problem. They're calling it a problem. Measures that have worked in the past or would work for most groups in the present will not work here. What are they telling you? Our problems are different from other ethnicities' problems. Our problems are different from other ethnicities' problems. Let me finish reading this, and I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean. A national effort is required that will give a unity of purpose to the many activities of the federal government in this area, directed to a new kind of national goal, the establishment of a stable Negro family structure. So what they're telling you is we're down because our family structure's fucked up. Now let me explain why our family dynamics, well, actually, the dynamics of the African American is not the same as everybody else. Here's why. You all heard everyone say, well, Irish people were slaves too. Fine. They weren't in shackles like us. First of all, America's slavery was different from slavery everywhere else. First of all, we weren't considered men or women. We were considered property. We were equivalent to cattle. We were equivalent to animals, which is why we couldn't drink out of the same fucking water fountains. Would you drink? I don't know. Would you eat off the same plate that your dog just ate off of? I mean, you wouldn't eat off of a stranger's plate either, but you get what I'm saying. We were kept as animals, man. And we were treated badly. We weren't allowed to read or write. Both of those things were punishable by death. The difference is when the Irish came here, they weren't treated like that. And guess what? What did the Irish people had going for themselves? Let me see who knows this. Let me pull up my screen. What did the Irish people, Paul Carrick, salute. Melvin Harris, salute. Rasul, what up? What did the Irish people have going for themselves when they were trying to get the economy rolling again? Don't worry about it, I'll tell you. They were white. They said, hey, listen, we know you're Irish and you stink and you got red hair and blue eyes, whatever the fuck, but listen, at least you're not them. You see, if you stand there in silence, you can pass for me. At least you're not them. I'm giving you the short accelerated version. That's what they had going for themselves. They were white. And what were they going to do? Decline and say, yo, look, I'd rather struggle than to be hand in hand with you? No. All right. Oh, I know, Rod. I did see that video. I saw that video on Instagram. Now, when you say family structure is crumbling, when you think of family, who's head of the household? It's supposed to be us, the men, right? But how many videos have I played for y'all from the 70s, from the 60s, when women are talking about, well, they don't need no man, they don't want no man. Why would I want a man? You know, why would I want the headache of raising this child and then having a man around? Refer to it as a fucking headache. This is the 60s and 70s, y'all. This behavior isn't new. It's been enabled and it's amplified now. Kane, what up? So am I just blaming women or shooting from the hip? No, I'm showing you. I'm showing you. Let's get back to it. This would be a new departure for federal policy, and a difficult one, but it almost certainly offers the only responsibility of resolving in our time what is, after all, the nation's oldest and most intransigent. I can't read. I ain't got my glass. I ordered a pair of glasses. They ain't here yet. I'm sorry. Intransigent. I can't even read. And now it's most dangerous social. It's a most dangerous social problem. It said what Gunnar Myrdal said in The American Dilemma remains true today. America is free to choose whether the Negro shall remain her liability or become her opportunity. Wow. So here's a table of contents. Look, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The Negro American Revolution. They explain that right here. Now, this is a lot, y'all. I'm trying to decide, should I jump around? Let's go to the Negro American family. At the heart of the deterioration of the fabric of the Negro society is the deterioration of the Negro family. It is the fundamental source of the weakness of the Negro community at the present time. There is probably no single fact of Negro American life so little understood by whites, still to this day. The Negro situation is commonly perceived by whites in terms of the visible manifestation of discrimination and poverty, in part because Negro protest is directed against such obstacles and in part, no doubt, because these are facts which involve the actions and attitudes of white community as well. The white community as well. It is more difficult, however, for whites to perceive the effect of that 3 centuries of the exploitation have had of the fabric of the Negro society itself. Here, the consequences of the historic injustices done to Negro Americans are silent and hidden from view. But here is where the true injury has occurred. Unless this damage is repaired, all the effort to end discrimination and poverty and injustice will come too little. Now, I need y'all to pay attention. I need y'all to pay attention. David Scott, salute. Because people think I just be talking and I'm pointing a finger and I'm blaming. I need you to pay attention to this. The role of the family in shaping character and ability is so pervasive as to be easily overlooked. Let me read it again, y'all. The role of the family in shaping character and ability is so pervasive as to be easily overlooked. The family is the basic social unit of the American life. It is the basic socializing unit. By and large, adult conduct in society is learned as a child. Oh my God. This is Bumpy. What up, bro? Where you been? This is 1965, family. Did you hear what he just said? Now think about these ratchet ass baby mamas running around on Instagram right now. Dudes running around talking about I got 7 kids and I ain't want none of them. Think about how those women, a majority of those women, don't know how to choose a man, but they choosing pookies like that dude, and they're procreating and keeping the kids to term. No promise of marriage. And when I got on here and say, yo, look, the family structure, that don't mean anything. Niggas ain't shit. But why that nigga got 7 baby mamas? What's up with those chicks? That's all I'm asking. Do y'all know there's a goddamn game show hosted by Kevin Hart with Nick Cannon, who's going to be my next baby mama? Who thought that was funny? I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny at all. So let me read it to you again, y'all. I'll pull the screen up again. Read it with me. Let me move this over here. The role of the family in shaping character and ability is so pervasive as to be easily overlooked. The family is the basic social unit of American life. It is the basic socializing unit. By and large, adult conduct in society is learned as a child. If a woman is twerking for money on Instagram, like I said, that little boy is on his mama Instagram and she's twerking her big fat ass on there, and that boy has to see that, how's he gonna view women when he becomes of age? When you got mothers having threesomes with their sons and their sons' girlfriends and they're joining in, what is happening in our society? When you got women who are 31 years old, impregnated by 13-year-old boys, and she doesn't get any jail time, and she keeps the baby, and she has full custody, where are we as a society? when you have people in Congress saying that it's okay for a transformer to read and teach your kids in school, where are we as a society? Who said that is okay? And I promise you that last part, no straight man says that's okay. Challenge me on that. I want smoke. Night Train, salute. Exactly, Daniel Mitchell. Okay? So they're talking about family structure. This is not a lie. The fundamental insight of the psychoanalytic theory, for example, is that the child learns a way of looking at life in his early years through which all later experience is viewed in, and which profoundly shapes his adult conduct. I just said that. Which is why these kids looking at all this homosexual, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, women twerking on social media, their mothers doing that, they're thinking that this behavior is normalized. It's not normalized. There's certain things that kids should not be exposed to. Because when you expose them to it at an early age, when they develop, they become desensitized to weird stuff like that. And that's not good. They're not going to become good parents if they want to be parents at all. It may be hazarded that the reason family structure does not loom larger in public discussion of social issues is that people tend to assume that the nature of family life is about the same throughout American society. The mass media and the development of suburbia have created an image of the American family as a highly standardized phenomenon. It is therefore easy to assume that whatever it is that makes for differences among individuals or groups of individuals, it is not a different family structure. We've been en route to lose it a long time. That's why I keep bringing up 1965, y'all. There is much truth to this. As with any other nation, Americans were producing a recognizable family system. But that process is not completed by any means. There are still, for example, important differences in family patterns surviving from the age of the great European migration to the United States, and these variations account for notable differences in the progress of assimilation of various ethnic and religious groups. A number of immigrant groups were characterized by unusually strong family bonds. These groups have characteristically progressed more rapidly than others. But there is one truly great discontinuity, big word, in family structure in the United States at the present time, that between the white world in general and that of the Negro American, the white family has achieved a high degree of stability and is maintaining that stability. I'll read it again. The white family has achieved a high degree of stability and is maintaining that stability. By contrast, the family structure of the lower class Negroes is highly unstable and in many urban centers is approaching a complete breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 1965. You see that? Read that. See that? This man saw this shit coming. It was up to us to stop it. But I just showed y'all a chart. Kept spitting out babies, and there was less marriage. And he just said the American family, the structure of our country was dependent on the strength of the American family. We was okay. And then 1965, something happened. He noticed our family structure started to break down. Now, there was a lot of factors in people saying, oh, they're breaking down because you know what it is. Oh, we're lazy. Oh, we're pointing fingers. They're free men and women. Why are they still talking about slavery? They can get all the jobs they want. We know that's not true. Yeah, we're free, but we can't work with you. You know that. We have A1 credit, but we can't move in your neighborhood. We know that. Ask Donald Trump years later. Huh? And they don't factor in the trauma from slavery passed down from generations. Oh, you wasn't in no goddamn cotton fields. Get over it, Negro. Yeah, but my grandmama was. And she instilled in me not to trust you. And just because you said that to me now, she's right. That's why I don't like you. So you have two things going on. PTSD and white people just being insensitive to what we've gone through. Why? Because they haven't gone through it. Make sense? There is considerable evidence that the Negro community is in fact dividing between a stable middle class group that is steadily growing stronger and more successful, and an increasingly disorganized and disadvantaged lower class group. There are indications, for example, that middle class Negro family puts a higher premium on family stability and the conserving of family resources than does a white middle class family. See that? The discussion of this paper is not obviously directed to the first group expecting, as it is affected by the experiences of the second, an important exception. There are 2 points to be noted in this context. First, the emergence and increasingly visibility of the Negro middle class may beguile the nation into supposing that the circumstances of the remainder of the Negro community are equally prosperous, whereas just the opposite is true at present and is likely to continue. Let me stop right there. When we were prospering and we had things like Black Wall Street, what happened? Steve Elder Mack reefed the watch and salute. When we had Black Wall Street, what happened? Man, they came in there and fucked us up, and they even bombed us by airstrike. Oh, you sent me something, IG? Let me see what you sent me. See if I can open that. Oh, child support. Yeah, you know what, bro? Yeah, I saw that, man. That's bad, man. That's bad. Second, the lumping of all Negroes together in one statistical measurement very probably conceals the extent of the disorganization among the lower class group. If conditions are improving for one and deteriorating for the other, the resultant statistical averages might show no change. Further, the statistics on the Negro family and most other subjects treated in this paper refer only to a specific point in time. Remember, this is 1965, y'all. They are a vertical measure of the situation at a given moment. Given movement. I'm tired, y'all. I worked all day. They do not measure the experience of the individuals over time. Thus, the average monthly unemployment rate for the Negro male for 1964 is recorded as 9%. But during 1964, some 29% of Negro males were unemployed at one time or another. Similarly, for example, if 36% of Negro children were living in broken homes at any specific moment, it is likely that far higher proportion of Negro children find themselves in that situation at one time or another in their lives. Let's go down here. Nearly a quarter of urban Negro marriages are dissolved. Nearly a quarter of urban Negro marriages are dissolved. Nearly a quarter of Negro women living in cities who have ever married are divorced, separated, or are living apart from their husbands. The rates are highest in the urban Northeast, where 26% of Negro women ever married or either divorced, separated, or have their husbands absent. Now, why is that when it clearly said earlier that when we had a strong family structure, things were better amongst us? A strong family structure represents the country. Black, white, Irish immigrant. But what happened here? On the urban frontier, the proportion of husbands absent is even higher. On the urban frontier. Go figure that. In New York City in 1960, it was 30.2%, not including divorces. Among never married non-white women in the nation, the proportion with husbands present declined in every age group over the decade 1950 to 1960 as follows. The chart not reproduced. Okay. Although similar declines occurred among white folks, among white females, the proportion of the white husband present never dropped below 90%, except for the first and last group. Did y'all hear that? Although similar declines occurred among white females, the proportion of white husbands present never dropped below 90%. Those white women were staying with their men. Those white women were staying with their men. Those white women were staying with their men. They understood family structure. They understood that they had to win. In order to win in this game of life, they needed team. They needed a team. Now, I know some women will hear this and say, oh, well, what woman got to put up with abuse? What kind of abuse did a black man put on a woman that a white man didn't put on his woman? And what is abuse for a black woman nowadays? What? Wash the dishes while I go to work? Have dinner ready when I come home from work? That's abuse. That's being a pick-me. This is 1965, y'all. Do you see why I keep referring to this fucking year? Because they started recording this shit. They say, wait, what's going on? Black families are deteriorating and what the fuck's going on? And it's bad enough that it's hard for us to get black men to get jobs, and we can make the income, be middle class, but we can't move in certain neighborhoods without them burning a cross on our fucking lawn. So a lot of us stayed in the hood because we didn't want to be around white folk. And then what happens if you get 2 or 3 black families and move in a predominantly white neighborhood? What did they say? There goes the neighborhood. The white families will move the fuck out. That was reverse gentrification. The white people left. More black people came in. And it brought down the fucking property value. That's what happened, y'all. Ern Jordan, salute. I know love is a word is here, but where the rest of the ladies at? Where's my good sister Shawa? Where's Shauna TV? Where's Queen 71? I want to have a discussion now. Now, I knew about this report. It's right there. I'm stumbling through the motherfucker, but yo, it's late. I worked all day. I worked 12 hours today. As soon as I ended my live, I went to work. And I've been stoked to do this because I tried not to do this. All I need is for sisters to say, hey, man, you know what? It's bad. We made some mistakes, but we love you. And what can we do to move forward and get better? No. Don't give me no underhanded bullshit. Yeah, you know, we all made mistakes, but, you know, it takes 50-50 because y'all did this and we did that. No. Y'all did this. And this was the whitest white man in the world that did the statistics and said, wait a minute, what the fuck? What's going on here? The country was in an economic collapse. White people didn't have jobs. They were trash before they were trailer parks. But the economy got stimulated. And what happened was, when it got stimulated, white men went to work and their family structure stayed the same. Some black people went to work and the structure started to collapse. What the fuck? What happened? Now, whether it's me or Dennis Sperling or Crimson Cure, the message is still the same. I ain't got to lie to you. In order to understand how we got here, we have to understand where we came from, so we're not doomed to make the same mistakes. Because things are bad now. I told everyone, it's gotten so bad that black men who have their shit together, who are in the middle class or rich and childless, they're saying, I can't deal with this. I'm going to another country. Well, why has it gotten that bad? 1965, that's where the bullshit started. It's in your head. When invaders go to fuck off a country, do they fuck off the women first or the men? It's the men. Why? We the ones that fight back. When America goes to other countries and start goofing off whatever they want to do, try and take it over, what do? Other than blow shit up. They want to get the trust of the people in the land. Because there are some people that say, you know what, I'm not with that guy's, what our ruler or emperor is doing. I'm not with that. Oh, well, here, embrace our ideology. Here, take some food. You need some water? Your kid hungry? Embrace our ideology. Doesn't that sound like what they did in Africa with Christianity? Look, I don't want to take it there, but I'm giving you an example. This is what they do. Omega Red, salute. Shauna, there you go. Woke, what up? This is what I'm talking about. Embrace their idea. You need to change their minds. And I'm going to tell you something. It's easier to change the mind of a woman than it is with a man. You never heard of the term buck breaking as it applies to a woman. A woman, especially when she has a child, she's thinking self-preservation for herself and her child. So she don't want no smoke. We fight till the end. For those of us that are warriors. And what do? They buck break these dudes. They take the biggest, strongest black man and they violate him sexually and do it in front of everybody. Your biggest black, they take a nigga the size of Shaq and they line him up and give it, all these white men giving him back shots in front of everybody. And they take his manhood from him. You break the biggest nigga, you fighting everybody. Look what they did to big Umar Muhammad. If they do it to him, they could do it to me. I don't want no smoke. And the women are like, yo, look, I'm just trying to survive. So if that means becoming a bed wench or laying up under daddy, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to fucking survive. I'm trying to live. There you have it. Not lying. Embrace the ideology. So what they did here on this soil, they got the black sisters to embrace the ideology. We'll give you money. We'll give you food stamps. You ain't got to starve no more. We'll send you to school. We'll put you up in public housing. There's only one catch, though. Those 4 kids, who their father? Bernard? Okay, great. Listen. Bernard can't be here. I don't care what you say, what you do, but here's the rules. So you got to make a choice. Now, Bernard might be a hardworking dude. He might not work for 1 month, but work the next month and he'll get some money and whatever. And you might be chasing that dime, borderline getting evicted, but he's making it happen and he's trying to get a job. And his kids are watching him bust his ass for you and the babies. So inadvertently, he's teaching them principles. He's teaching the little boy's character. He don't complain, he just does it. If Bernard cries, he don't cry in front of you. All he asks from his wife is a square growth. What up? A square meal. Vince, what up? That's all he asked for. And the woman said, you know what? I can't live like that no more. I remember one time we went 2 days and all we had was a loaf of fucking bread. Mr. Shelton, salute my brother. All he had was a loaf of fucking bread, and I can't live like that. Zaddy's offering me steaks with these fucking paper food stamps. Y'all remember the paper food stamps? Sorry. See what I'm saying? 1965. I'm not making this up, y'all. Matter of fact, what am I doing? What I'm reading from, this is chapter 2, but this is the whole report here. This is the whole report. I'm putting it in the chat. That's the whole report. The Moynihan report. This is the whole report, family. Let me read some more. Although some of the declines occurred among white females, the portion of white husbands present never dropped below 90%, except for the first and last age group. Nearly 1/4 of Negro births are now illegitimate. Both white and Negro illegitimacy rates have been increasing, although from dramatically different bases. The white rate was 2% in 1940. It was 3.07% in 1963. In that period, the Negro rate went from 16.8% to 23.6%. The number of illegitimate children per 1,000 live births increased by 11 among whites, and in the period of 1940 and 1963, but only 68 among non-whites. There are, of course, limits to the dependability of these statistics. There are almost certainly a considerable number of Negro children who, although technically illegitimate, are in fact the offspring of stable unions. See that? On the other hand, it may be assumed that many births that are in fact illegitimate are recorded otherwise. Probably the two opposite effects cancel each other out. Oh my God. Y'all will never know how fucked up this is. Now listen to this, y'all. The breakdown of the Negro family has led to a startling increase in welfare dependency. What? The majority of Negro children receive public assistance under the AFDC program at one point or another in their childhood. At present, 14% of Negro children are receiving AFDC assistance, as against 2% of white children. And y'all don't get a fucking connection? What was the difference between white children and Negro children? Why the fuck the Negro children at 14%, the whites are at 2%? Of course, we don't have the same advantages that they have. But what was consistent that we read earlier? Their household was at 90%. Ours was not. 8% of white children receive such assistance at some time, as against 56% of non-whites, according to an extrapolation based on HEW data. Let it be noted, however, that out of a total of 1.8 million non-white illegitimate children in the nation in 1961, 1.3 million were not receiving aid under the AFDC program, although a substantial number have or will receive aid at some time in their lives. Do y'all see this? Shauna, it's in the chat. Read the whole thing for yourself. This is 1965. And while you're at it, because I know you probably got here late, I'm being nice with this. Crimson Cure, not so much. That black sister puts it all on y'all. I've been nice. I've been new about this since I was a child. When I got older, I researched it and I said, well, what is that? And I talked to my mom, talked to my dad. They said, yeah, this is what this was. And I said, damn. Then when I got a little older, I said, this is incriminating evidence to these black women, but I ain't gonna say shit. And then now we're in social media in 2023. I said, yo, this is the pipe bomb. But I still didn't say anything. Now I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, fuck it now. Because this is where the problem started. Family structure. You're looking at it. 14% of Negro children back then on public assistance. 2% were white. Why are we so high? Same reason why you wasn't here, Shauna, top of the show. I showed a chart from 1940 to 2014. The broken black household. The numbers went up every year. You know what else happened? Come 1975. You know what else happened? Yeah, where is Camara? Because he needs to see this. Because obviously I'm making shit up. You know what else happened? Do a couple of things. Y'all started getting a lot of abortions. That shit started. And you know what else happened? You know why those ABs went so high? They sold y'all on feminism. Cosmopolitan. Remember I did a whole show on the Cosmopolitan? How that woman marketed feminism to y'all and she said she was lying the whole time? Be a free spirit. It's okay to have multiple sex partners. It's about you. Get your career up and running. You could do it yourself, girl. Whole time that bitch was married. With a child. Happily at that. Happily. She sold that to women. And what's sad is black women bought into it. Which is why when Roe vs. Wade was being reversed, I cringed when I saw these black women rolling in the street. Oh my God, it's my right. It's my body. It's my right. Wait a minute. Is it really? And then when I got up here and said, yo, look, black people only make up 13 point something percent of the population in America, I was argued down. No, it's more than that. Prove it. Because you know what my proof is? From 1975 to current, y'all black women had over 20 million abortions. No wonder we're only at 13%. I'm surprised we didn't drop to 10. Y'all did that. Oh, but we didn't get pregnant by ourselves. No, y'all let one motherfucker impregnate 7 different bitches. We've seen that. Remember when I said y'all fucking the same guy? Remember when I said y'all fucking the same guy? Remember when I said these women are blasting the same guy? Did I not say that? Let me get my champ side on. Press 1 if I said these women are effing the same guy. Press 1 if you heard me say that. Shauna, you heard me say that, right? Shauna, am I lying? Are these women not blasting the same guy? They blasting the same guy, right? They all blasting the same guy, right? Shauna, these women are blasting the same guy, right? Right? These men are blasting the same guy. 20 million abortions between 1975 and 2022. Nostradamus Ellaby, salute. So let me ask good sister Shauna. I said it. I saw you press the 1, but we can all agree. Have I not proven it? Have I not proven it? I proved it, right? Future, Nick Cannon, NBA Youngboy. Yep. Shauna. I'm talking about you, Shauna. Yeah. Well, Drew, what are you talking about? Shauna, didn't you say you poly?
Whoa!
What?
You, an old boy, and his wife, and you said that there was someone else involved too. Y'all were blasting the same guy. Now, I don't know if there was children involved. I know there's none involved on your end, but you sat right there and said it made for a good time. I'm not knocking you for that. But you proved my point. These women are out here blasting the same guy. How's that for stats? Shauna, whether he had a wife or not. He doesn't have a wife now. You said he was married. And you said you was poly, which means more than one. So you was blasting the same guy. He was blasting you and someone else. Ta-da! I'm right. Anthony Bolton, salute. Godfather, what you think?
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
Let us read. Again, the situation may be said to be worsening. The AFDC program, deriving from the long-established Mother's Aid programs, was established in 1935 principally to care for widows and orphans. Although the legislation covered all children in homes deprived of parental support because one or both of their parents are absent or incapacitated. In the beginning, the number of AFDC families in which the father was absent because of desertion was less than a third of the total. Today, it is 2/3. HEW estimates that between 2/3 and 3/4 of the 50% increased from 1948 to 1955 in the number of absent father families receiving ADC may be explained by an increase in broken homes in the population. Wow. They get into the roots of the problem. They talk about slavery, American slavery. Okay, I just explained to you. Look what it says here. American slavery was profoundly different from in its lasting effects on individuals and in their children. Let me stop right there. I just explained all of that shit. PTSD. And slavery in America was different. Slavery in America was very, very different. Slavery in America was very, very different. Slavery in Africa, if you owed someone something and you didn't have, you owed them 3 pigs. When it come time to pay, you ain't had those pigs or whatever the hell, warthogs, whatever the hell. Okay, you got to go work for him to work it off. You go on his land. You look, man, pick those yams up out the dirt and get those crops together and do this, and that. And you stay there and you work off your debt. He wasn't beating you with a goddamn whip. That ain't happened until motherfuckers got here. And let me back up for a minute. When I said that women they go in the direction of the wind. They're thinking self-preservation, especially if they have children. But they're like, yo, who's conquering? Who won this war? Okay, well, I'm going with Zaddy. He done won already. Like I said, not all these black women were raped. Not all of them. Some of those marriages were arranged. And they came right up here down to South Carolina. And they inherited that land, and those slaves became their slaves. Yes, black women in South Carolina had slaves. Look it up. You see, I didn't go all the way in. And these are things that I know. I'm not making it up. You don't want to believe it when I say black people are only 13% of the population. They want to believe that. You didn't want to believe that the 20 million deletions between 1975 and now. You didn't want to believe that y'all bought into feminism and the cosmopolitan and all that shit. You didn't want to believe that. Now I'm telling you about black women owning slaves in South Carolina. You could look that up if you want. I'm reading you this report from 1965, something that I knew about. So all of these things, y'all were better off just taking my word for it, because if you didn't know. And then when I say use the internet for what it's for, and come back with your facts, data, and statistics, y'all ain't do that. And I'm talking to the women now. Y'all ain't do that. You just talking about some dude you know on your block and all that. Look. Your block is a grain of sand in this entire country. And there's something called being wrong and strong. If you don't know something you need, or you're not clear on something, don't say anything. But you asked me to prove things, and I'm saying I'm proving it right now. And if you don't want to take my word for it, go over to Crimson Cure's channel. I'm gonna tell you what she called this, Shauna, and I hope you're listening. See, I just called it the Moynihan report, 1965. Crimson Cure called it Black Women Broke the Black Family. Moynihan report, parts 1 through 5. Now I ain't want to say nothing. But I did say, y'all made all of these decisions, all the way to the point where it's 2023. Y'all are mad that the government done told y'all, look, man, stop having babies. Stop getting pregnant and killing your kids. And y'all mad at that. And then while that's happening, black men tried to sneak out the back door and say, yo, look, all right, these bitches don't want us anyway. Where y'all going? Yeah, I'm going to the Philippines. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to Dominican Republic. I'm going to Venezuela. I'm going to Spain. I'm going to Africa. Where you going there for? I'm going there for fucking respect. I'm going there because some of those women don't talk back. I'm going there because I can get a square fucking meal without no back talk. Well, fuck you and your mama black and you gay and Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, you want those broke bitches living in huts and they ain't got no money. And now those women are firing back at them. And I told y'all brothers, don't get involved. Let those women fight it out because they started it. These American chicks here, they started it. So let them deal with it. Well, how did this start? 1965. This is the root of the bullshit. I just named several things leading up to Roe versus Wade. And then the icing on the cake was the black passport brothers, the black ones. Don't blame me. This shit happened. I was just trying to protect some integrity. I'm like, shit, I don't have to bring that up. Force my hand, man. They ain't know about the damn Moynihan report. Look at this. American slavery was profoundly different from and its lasting effects on individuals and their children indescribably worse than any recorded servitude, ancient or modern, which means America had the worst form of slavery, man. It was worse over here. They were cutting our hands off and shit. I mean, come on, we were abused. We weren't considered human beings. The peculiar nature of American slavery was noted by Alexis de Tocqueville and others, but it was not until 1948 that Frank Tannenbaum, a South American specialist, pointed to the striking differences between Brazilian and American slavery. Look, man, when the Brazilian slaves got released, they considered Brazilian. They're considered Brazilian. We're considered African American. We call them Afro-Brazilians. We do that. Fuck out of here, man. Look at this. The feudal Catholic society of Brazil had a legal and religious tradition which accorded the slave a place as a human being in the hierarchy of society. A luckless, miserable place to be sure, but a place withal. In contrast, there was nothing in the tradition of English law or Protestant theology which could accommodate to the fact of human bondage. The slaves were therefore reduced to the status of chattels, often, no doubt, well cared for, even privileged chattels, but chattels nonetheless, which means they weren't top of the line, like considered like citizens, but they weren't abused like that. That was only happening over here. And maybe some other places like, you know, Haiti and shit like that, but come on, man. In the United States, the slaves was totally removed from the protection of the organized society. Man, I'm not gonna read all of this, man. This is like with the emancipation of slaves, the Negro American family began to form in the United States on a widespread scale, but it did so in an atmosphere markedly different from which it was pronounced from the white American family. The Negro was given liberty, but not equality. Life remained hazardous and marginal. Of the greatest importance, the Negro male, particularly in the South, became an object of intense hostility and attitude unquestionably based in some measure of fear. When Jim Crow made its appearance towards the end of the 19th century, it may be speculated that it was a Negro male who was most humiliated. Thereby, the male was more likely to use public facilities in which rapidly became segregated. But there's something else I wanted to show y'all, because all the information is here. They talk about the wage system. Listen, Here's the deal. If you don't know, healer, salute. I'll put it in here again for y'all to read and see. You know, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. There it is. This is the whole report. You can also put it on YouTube. They had Moynihan on shows and they spoke on it. But when you're from the community and you're trying to figure out what the hell happened, I'm gonna dumb it down for y'all. Our women accepted the government over having us around. That's what happened. And when they realized the welfare system was going up, they said, why the fuck? Let me see. The family structure was almost neck and neck at one point. Whites and blacks. They're coming off of welfare. White men are working, black men are working. Soul power, salute. Why is the black women still? What happened to the family structure? They're not still on welfare no more. What happened? And let me do this. I'm doing this for you, Shauna, because you missed it. That right there. Non-marital birth rates in the United States from 1940 to 2014. The purple line at the top, that's us. Look at white people down there. Now, mind you, we're only 13% of the population. It's probably lower back then. But look at the rate of their birth rates by 1990. Look at ours. They went to a 20%. We went to a goddamn 70, 71%. In 1940, it was non-white because everybody was jumbled up. But look at us. Make that make sense. I'm not talking about being a... See, stop moving the goalposts. This is what these ladies do. I'm not talking about the single and unmarried. I'm showing you a stat. Stick to this. Stick to this. And they only stopped at 2014. Look at that. How does it feel to know you can only blame a handful of men? I just said all of y'all are fucking the same dude. I just said that. Y'all sleeping with the same guy. In 1965, Moynihan saw this shit coming. And he was asking a question. You see, once they saw this, us as a people, we should have been like, yo, oh shit, chill. And Lyndon Johnson was the president. There was a lot of programs that was created to help the single black woman. A lot of programs. It was a black man's program. Let me see. A steady income, a steady roof. But here's the thing, y'all. Public assistance is supposed to be temporary. Some people live on that shit for decades, man. There's generations of families living in the projects. Great grandma, grandma, mama. And here come Junior with two baby girls, two baby mamas. Here you go. He ain't leaving. Where's Pop? It's Daddy. Don't argue with me. Argue with the statistics. Tell me that this is bullshit, and then prove it wrong. And from all of this, you know what happened? Men started to wake up and see this shit for what it is. They said, you know what? There's some good women. I'm going to shift through the ashes and maybe I'll find one. But for the most part, from what I'm listening in the radio, no scrubs, and I'm lame and I'm a bum, and if I don't buy you a drink, I'm gay, and all this other ridiculous shames, insults, and the need to be right. You turn around and you say, shit, I ain't got no kids. Yeah, I'm lame. I ain't getting no ass, but all the niggas that weren't lame getting all the ass, now they can't get real jobs because they're on child support. And wait a minute, that chick that I did want, 5 years ago, she was hot. Now look at her. Her hair's a wreck, shit falling out her head. She done gained 20 pounds. All of her fucking children look like the nigga she was head over heels for. Now she hate the nigga, but all the babies look like him. And I ran into her at goddamn Key Food, and she's talking about why we never got together. Oh no, that ship done sailed. And then you turn around and say, shit, I'm making $80,000 a year. I ain't got to put up with this shit. You're going out on these dates and all these women got kids out of wedlock. You ain't got to put up with that. I got zero debt. I make 80 racks a year. I ain't got no criminal record. I'm childless. Some of those dudes are virgins by choice. Not that they couldn't get no ass, by choice, because they understand that coochie's a goddamn distraction. They say, wait a minute. I ain't got no responsibility to nobody but myself. Let me leave the country. Let me go to DR, see what's doing. Let me go to Africa. I always wanted to go there. And then he gets on his social media and just takes a picture of him on a beach, had brunch with a beautiful black queen. And then some random motherfuckers jump in his goddamn chat. You couldn't get no ass in America, so you went over there to find a chick that don't know any better. Like all the women around the world are stupid. Everyone in the United States is smart. All the women in the United States are smart, but the women outside the country are stupid. Meanwhile, these bitches in the United States are the ones with multiple children from multiple men, falling for it. But all those chicks are dumb over there, or do they have morals? Xavier, what up? That brother got to read his fucking, all the hate on his social media from men and women. You turn your back on your sisters. And here come the sisters. Oh, you can't handle a real woman. A real woman? How tall are you? 5 foot what? Dress size. 30? How much you weighed the last time you weighed yourself? 260. How many kids you got? 1? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself? Fresh face out the shower. You can't use 7. An 8? Beyonce is an 8. Kelly Rowland is a 9. And she on your Instagram and you go to her profile, she looking like fucking Haku without the beard. The Rock's uncle and shit. You gotta be kidding me. What the? If y'all got $50K to go to the Davis versus Garcia fight, y'all can go. $14,000, Section E. Man, fuck boxing. Fuck that fight. Whatever. Anyway, you want to go date Haku in America with her kid and her swollen knees? You want to do that? Or do you want to be in Nigeria or in Ghana on the Ivory Coast with Shamala? All 5'5", 130 pounds of her. And if you work out with her when she spits out a baby, she ain't gonna gain but a few pounds, but she'll be motivated to lose it. I'm just saying. I don't give a fuck what the chicks want. I'm telling y'all what these dudes out here are looking for. That's just it. Big Cup of Joe, salute. Shorty got cankles. Sam Mack, what up? Shorty got cankles, man. Exactly. Shorty's out here looking like Rikishi. Come on, man. Come on, man. And the reason why I do this is because, yo, those be the chicks with the biggest mouths. Why are you violating these sisters in these other countries and you looking crazy? Wearing their hair. Fuck out of here. But don't worry, those sisters, they got it. Why they act like these women ain't got the internet around the world? Get the fuck out of here. They see you twerking with your fucking son on the very next page. Twerk it. Stop, man. Stop it. Just stop. Stop trying to shame dudes and violate the women that they're choosing. Cut it out. Y'all doing too much. Now look, man. When me and Dr. Mark was up here, we was doing that shit for a reason. And we would always tell the sisters, yo, we love you. Get it together. Getting it together isn't shaming the dude wanting to explore his options in a whole nother fucking country. Telling him, well, bye, you're lame, you didn't get no pussy anyway. And my thing is this. If you really can't find what you want here, what you deserve here, what's the problem with you exploring your options? I want black men to marry black women. I do. I really do. And I wish they didn't have to leave. But do y'all see what the fuck's going on social media? Do y'all hear these women? Do y'all see Cynthia G? Do y'all hear that? Do y'all know she has over like hundreds of thousands of followers that agree with her? As a black man on the dating market, do you feel safe? I'm asking, do you feel safe? How many times has Kevin Samuels said, yo, F the black women and kill them? He's never said that. She said, if you're pregnant with a black baby boy, delete the pregnancy. And she don't consider that genocide. It has a bunch of these bitches running around talking about, yeah, I agree. I agree. Crime is up because of black men. Pregnancy's up because of black men. Oh, look at this nigga. He got 7 fucking kids. Not one time did these dumb bitches say, well, wait a minute. Okay, I consider him a douchebag. However you feel about him is how you feel about him. But wait a minute. Who are those 7 chicks? Dude been on Anton's, so you can go watch that dude. He did a nice interview on Anton's network. And I appreciate him because he stood on his square. And you know something? Those chicks on there couldn't save him. That's right, Kane. He advocated for black marriage. That's what Kevin did. He advocated for black marriage. And you bitches still hated him for that. Cynthia G is not an advocate for black marriage. She wants us to die. And y'all don't say anything about that. So as a single black man out here, I'm asking y'all, because I'm not single. I'm happily married. I got lucky. Do y'all feel safe in this dating market? I feel for y'all, man. I would love for y'all to marry black women, but you know what? You don't have to marry black American women. You can find a black woman in Africa. They're everywhere. Pick the right one. You can find a black woman. Do you know you can find a black woman in the Philippines? Did you know that? Don't get it fucked up. The dirt that these women did dating back to 1965, there's a reason why I keep picking up this year. Look at that chart. Debunk it. Tell me it's wrong. Tell me it's subjective. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm right here for the smoke. Tell me I'm off. Tell me I'm a womanizer, whatever you want to call me. Call me gay, call me corny, whatever. But the facts are the facts. The facts are, if y'all were here in abundance and y'all were good people, there would be no black passport, brothers. Because I'm going to tell you another bit of truth. Men have been going to DR and freaking off for years. They don't consider themselves passport brothers. They never have. They've been doing that for years. And so what? You know why I never spoke on that? Because I didn't care. They don't represent me. I've never been in the Dominican Republic. I don't plan on going. For what? But as soon as black men started saying, yo, look, I'm looking for a wife, that's when y'all chicks lost your mind. Come on, man. But why is this happening? When I got Rachel Donner saying, why are they attacking Filipinas and what's happening? I had to give it a whole schmeal. I said, look, this is deep-rooted. You got about an hour. In 1965, And I backed it up with facts, data, and statistics. And what am I met with? Numbers ain't true. Numbers are subjective. And, well, what can you tell me about it? Where am I wrong? Well, I can't prove that it's wrong, but that can't be right. What do you mean? What do you mean? Black people only make up 13% of the population in America. That can't be right because we're everywhere. From 1975 to 2022, y'all responsible for 20 million abortions. Black women. That's a real number. Your body, your choice. Actually, absolutely. And y'all were enabled by the cosmopolitan. Cosmo. Yeah. Free spirit. The working woman. The single woman. The free spirit. You know what I mean when I say free spirit, right? Not a care in the world. You get knocked up, go get an AB. You get knocked up again, go get an AB. Because your career comes first. Wait a minute, black woman. Why did our fucking family structure deteriorate again? Cosmopolitan, free spirit, as many abortions as you want. No man in the house. Why are we not in power? Why we can't have anything? The family structure's down. He made it very clear. Family structure down. Birth rates, the non-marital birth rates went up. So for those of you that kept kids, rather than have the man in the house, y'all got married to Uncle Sam. Why we fucked up now? Why we don't understand group economics? Huh? Who did this? Y'all did. And y'all welcome to come back and hit me in the comment section. This is smoke right here. I try not to make this a smoke show, but this is all the smoke. Tell me when I'm lying. Because I'm showing you I'm getting it. Don't tell me I'm lying. Tell them they're lying. And then while you're telling them they're lying, show me the lie. Don't just say, well, I feel. What does Blue Blood say? Facts over feelings, right? Well, this is a fact. CDC is a fact. So until you take a year out of your time and go across the country and start interviewing groups of people in abundance, don't talk to me. I'm not saying this because I hate women. I'm saying this because it's a damn shame. And I really wish that people didn't. I really wish that this wasn't as accessible, because this shit is embarrassing, y'all. That's the truth. Oh, I know, Jet Spark. I know a ton of people that are from DR or go visit there. I don't want to have to go to a place where if I go a block off the resort, I'm going to get robbed. And plus, not too long ago, y'all remember when all these Americans were going down there and getting poisoned? They weren't leaving the resort. Y'all remember that? That was like 2 summers ago. Remember that? Another couple poisoned in DR. I said, what the fuck? Nope. Nope. Exactly, Kane. Show your work like math class. Contradict this. Again, I didn't want to go here, but I had to. To put it bluntly, I had a chip on my shoulder. I did. Because I'm like, yo, I'm telling y'all this for your own good. This is not to be met with resistance. Because the next question is, this is so high. How do we fix it? Don't fucking tell me about what men need to do. You know why? Y'all choosing these out of order, out of control men that make several babies out of wedlock. And you're going to expect it. You're going to tell me what he needs to do. Do y'all understand what I just said? Let me move this. Men need to do this and men need to. We've been trying. Men have been trying. We made Black Wall Street and they blew it up. Several of them. That's a whole nother topic, but wait a minute. When you say what men need to start doing, being fathers, being responsible, you talking about those fucking irresponsible niggas that y'all chose? Those niggas? Guess what? If they didn't stay with you to raise that baby, what do you expect them to do again? I missed that. You want them to be responsible now? Why would they do it if they weren't responsible with, yo, listen, the craziest shit I ever heard. My homegirl told me, and I'm gonna give y'all a short version. I mentioned her before. She called me up, and it sounded like she kind of like called me up out of nowhere. She was looking for validation. Now, her youngest daughter is grown now. She's like 18 now, but when she first had the baby, we didn't talk every day. So the fact that she had called me was kind of like out of nowhere. I was like, oh, what up? You good? Yeah, chilling, you know. Had a baby. Oh, I heard you were pregnant. You good? Yeah, I'm good. It's a girl? Yeah, it's a girl. I was like, okay, congratulations. Dead silence for about an uncomfortable 30 seconds. So I said, well, what's going on? Yeah, you know, father, whatever. And I'm like, here we go. And she called me up, and it was out of nowhere. That means she already done spoke to several people that told her the truth. But she just needed one person to validate what she felt. And God damn it, I'm not that. I was the last nigga she should have called. So obviously she wasn't with the father. So I said, well, not for nothing, why'd you keep the baby? Because now you're complaining. This motherfucker, that, and he, you know, and she said, well, he's a liar. Do tell. Well, I was dealing with him for a few months, and then I found out he was married. Pause. You found out he was married. Okay? You was already pregnant? No. You already know where I'm going with this. So what happened? You found out later by you found out he was married and you stopped messing with him. But then you found out he was pregnant. No, you know, I have feelings for him. So I see. Right there. Whose fault is that? Right there. Kept dealing with him. He eventually ain't pull out fast enough. You got knocked up. So I said, well, why'd you keep the child? Well, I went down to the clinic and I just started crying and I couldn't do it. I said, okay, fine. And then he got mad with me. I said, well, okay. He was laying up with you, but making a baby wasn't part of the plan. Well, he should have wore a condom. Well, great. Was making a baby part of your plan? No. Why didn't you make him wear a condom? You can't put this on him because at that point it's 50-50. He didn't want to wear it, fine, but you ain't make him wear it. Mirror, I'm looking at, you're pointing the finger at somebody. There's 3 fingers pointing back at you. 1 thumb up to God. If you want to do that, pew, pew, pew. Right? Yeah, I know, Kane. They're just dumb. So I said, look, now you had a child. I'm sure the baby's beautiful, but I said, look, now you're mad because he don't want to be around and he's worried about his marriage. Yeah, he should have been worried about his marriage when he was messing with me. I said, okay, well, you should have been worried about whether he's going to be a good father or not when you was, laying up with him. Oh, well, I don't want no money from him. I just want him to spend time with his daughter. Just spend time. I said, well, he don't want no part of this situation. Well, I just figured he'd be a good man about it. I just figured he'd do the this is exact words she said to me. I just figured he'd be a responsible man, not an irresponsible nigga. Tosh? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't fucking say her name. Sorry. I said, listen. How responsible was he when he stepped out on his wife?
Whoa!
What? Wait a minute. I said, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Did he have a hall pass? She said, what's that? Hall pass. Like, some people had that relationship where Shorty said, you remember that movie Bucket List? I think it was Bucket List. In the beginning, they're all older and he's going with his childhood friends and they're going to Vegas and they're going to do some stuff. And his wife goes up to him and says, look, you're going out with your friends and you don't do this much. And I know you're a little sick, here, I don't want to know about it. Just have fun. And she gave him a condom. She gave her husband a condom. See, a lot of women, they saw that scene. They're like, ew, I don't know, no. But you know what? Those women didn't get it. They didn't understand that. There was a whole movie called Hall Pass, by the way. All that was, look, I'm giving you the pass. You don't need to come back and high five with me and tell me anything. Just, because when you're in love with a person, it goes beyond the act of sex. That's a whole nother show, y'all. But I watched that movie. I said, man, that's real. Because I know people like that. I said, that's real. She gave him a condom. And it wasn't no like, oh shit moment. A lot of married couples that saw that scene, they understood. Oh, okay. Y'all remember Christopher Reeves, Superman? Remember what happened to him? He fell off the horse, broke his neck, and paralyzed. His wife was on Howard Stern's show. And when that came up, she says, no, I had a hall pass, something to that effect. He's like, what? Says, well, he understands he can't do anything. And that's my husband. I love him. I'm there. Death do us part. And I take care of my husband and I love him. He understands that I have needs and they agreed to a situation. She didn't go past that. They agreed to a situation and everything's fine. You understand? So I asked her, I said, was this a hall pass situation that just kept happening? She said, no. After I explained to her what a hall pass was. What it was she thought that was her boyfriend. And once she found out he was married, she kept dealing with him. She kept the baby. And then gonna hit me in the head with, I thought he was gonna be responsible. I said, he's cheating on his wife. It wasn't a hall pass. He's cheating on his wife. How responsible do you expect him to be? And watch this. You want to talk about responsible? You kept sleeping with a married man.
Whoa! What the
Don't! Oh, she didn't like what I had to say. I ain't have to scream. I was just giving it to her in reality. Thank you, Bumpy. Exactly. All I want to do is spend. She's hyperventilating over the phone. All I just wanted to do was to spend time. Spend time. I ain't want no money. Spend time. I said, T, he didn't want to be there in the first place. The deal that you and him had, y'all were just laying and playing. And when you found out he was married, that was the time you were supposed to stop dealing with him. You kept on. And you kept on. And you kept on. They were dealing with each other for 2 years, man. I said, 2 years, you? I'm thinking it's some dude you met off the flock. 2 years? You found out when? Like 6 or 7 months into that, you found out and you kept dealing with him? And then you try to force him to be a dad? Now, here's the deal. That little girl's like 18, 19 years old now. Beautiful young lady now. She knows her father. They actually worked that out. But guess what? He ain't leave his wife.
Whoa! What the
What? And the last time he slept with her was when she said, look, I can't delete this pregnancy. I asked her because after we had that conversation, she didn't talk to me for about a year and a half. She didn't like what I had to say. And then when we finally spoke, she said, yo, I'm sorry. I was in my feelings. Everybody was telling me things along those lines that you said, but there were certain things that I touched on that she didn't hear, and it hurt her feelings. Guess what? That was because she was talking to her aunt, her mom, and her girlfriends on the job. By the time she got to me, I questioned her integrity, and I questioned her responsibility or lack thereof, and that hurt her feelings. Tough love. But she called me and apologized a year and a half later. But yeah. You see that? You see that? You see that? Unwed, non-marital, birth rates. Her and I had that conversation like in 2002. Around that time. I want to say, what was it, 2002? 2003? Maybe 4 or 5. No. Was it 05? But it's within this time span. Okay? Oh no, it was his. It was his. I met dude. Daughter looked just like him. I mean, you know, you can't go for that, but I would say it's his. I would say it's his. See? So I put the link to the Moynihan report. Hey, as a matter of fact, let's do this. Here's what I'm going to do for Shauna. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's go to... Let's go here. Here you go, Shauna. This is the Moynihan. This is the Crimson Cure. This is part 2 of the Moynihan report. Y'all go find part 1. There's 5 parts to this. I'm not gonna go through it. It's long. I just wanted to prove to y'all that when you're making a point, everyone's on the same wavelength. The sisters in the chat came for me. They said the statistics was off, the math is wrong, and how I received it was I was being a bully, and I'm rooting for men and co-signing them leaving the country. I am co-signing them leaving the country if they're looking for a wife. If they can't find it here, I'm pro everybody getting what they want in life. And if you have to go to the fucking moon and get it, go get it. If you can't find anything here, leave. If a man wants a fresh pair of ovaries and he can't find it here, leave. You don't like it, get out, right? I'm not encouraging it unconditionally. I'm saying if that's how you feel, explore your options, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. Because if you can't find it here, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Shake dice under the couch all day long? Whatever you're doing. Shaking dice on the futon, the Pornhub. That's not real life, man. It's not. But when I said there's a fucking problem here, and now these niggas is leaving, and when people who are not black, they say, well, how did y'all get this bad? What happened? How did it get this bad? Well, in 1965, there was a study done. The Moynihan report.
What?
Yeah, read it. And just know this, they chose Zaddy over us. Decades 65 to 75, the deletions started. 75 to 85, she works hard for her money. Donna Summers and the Cosmo, the feminist movement. And more they started choosing other things instead of having a black man around. And now we're up to 2023 and it's Cynthia G. I'm not making it up. So if a black man got to go somewhere to find a wife, go. Because since 1965, in abundance, these women chose either no man or Pookie. Because all of them are fucking the same guy. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda, Cash App, the Super Chat. Much love and appreciation to all of you. We doing good. Like and share the video, man. Y'all go check out Crimson Cure. She got 5 parts, man. If you got time, if you riding a bike or on a treadmill, I'm gonna listen to all 5 parts on Sunday, and I'm gonna have a ball. Because that sister's a heavy hitter, and I'm glad she's saying it. Because if I had put that shit in my goddamn title, y'all already know what time it is. Go to her. Talk that shit to her. But bring your data, because she did. I know she did. Only brought some of it. I'm not going to harp on this any longer. Good fights tomorrow. Know what I mean? Salute to y'all, man. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. I'll see y'all Sunday. Peace.